And just towering above all of you, the eagle kind of peers down, and you just mentally hear, "Oh, hey guys, how's it going?"
Where's my buff? I don't feel very buff right now.
So how are we getting out there?
Your girl here can summon orcas and sharks that will do my bidding because they're actually sweet little lovable guys. I also have a magic carpet.
Yeah, but if it is a trial, I'd like to do it the right way. It's challenging, builds character.
I like this guy. He's nice. This brazier is affixed to the bow of a boat, and there's an underlying song.
Fishermen know the sea better than admin, I think.
On this ship, only one individual. Who go there?
We go here.
And welcome, Foundlings. I am Quentin, your GM and host for the SAO Odd campaign. This is Season 4, Episode 22, and I am surrounded by a bunch of faces who are currently staring off in various directions.
I thought we were lovely players.
You are lovely players. Hello! Say hi, my lovely players.
Hi, my lovely players.
Hi, my lovely players.
Hi.
Oh, Jonathan just,
Thank you, Jonathan. Hi, how are you, bud?
Oh, look at that.
One person was making eye contact with me, too. Everyone else is like staring off into space.
Trying to get that GM favoritism over there.
Absolutely. He's in my good graces. He will be the one to survive today's encounter. Anywho, introduce yourselves. I've introduced myself. I'm Quentin, the GM of the SAO Odd campaign, and everyone else is...
Hi, I'm Emily. I play Snow on this podcast, but you might know me from many other names. I have had many names. See if you can guess them. Put them all in the link or comment below. You know that thing that we don't do? That we have the... Never mind. I'm
just going to have to start Easter egging you to voice NPCs, so people will have to like, oh, that one NPC from floor 5, that shopkeeper.
We'll do it to Jonathan. Jonathan has such a distinct voice.
There you go. We just have Jonathan record random background voices for people.
And then you confuse them and try and like do kind of my voice when you're doing an NPC.
That'd be great.
But like I said, I play Snow in this podcast. She's the leader of the Odd Guild alongside their faithful wolf companion, Chia, who is the king.
Yes.
Yes.
And I'm RL, a woman of only a couple names, and I play Zana, a Xerxes Zion, with her lovely little crow, Alistair.
I think you had the most names.
What? No, I've only had like
3.
I'm not good at counting.
Okay.
I think we're actually equal.
That's sad.
We're no, not like with people that have died, just people that we voiced.
No, I know, that's what I'm saying.
It's not my fault, which it is kind of, but it's not my fault. Somebody got eaten by a bat.
It's kind of Sal and Daniel's fault for not trying to stop it. They just watched.
Yeah, they just kind of watched and then tried to cast healing magic instead of like ripping it off you.
On a character that has over 100 HP.
Say la vie. We're going to stop roasting our cast members who are not here. Love you, Mohit and Daniel. Hope you're well.
Hello, I am Jonathan, and I play the character Tama, and while he does not have a faithful companion like the other two, he does have his trusty jar of pickles.
It's foolproof.
It
doesn't fail.
Okay, hold on. I'd like to appreciate Jonathan. Yay! That was a good intro.
Good intro. Good job.
All right, we made that awkward now.
Last time on the Odd campaign, from mountaintops to seaside, our guild members traveled up and down and all around town, finding themselves in the quaint seaside settlement known as the Frozen Wharf, looking to charter a vessel and find safe passage to find the exit to the next floor. We're currently following Strike Squad as they were lured to the sound of mysterious singing, which seemed to be emanating from a large boat. On said boat, they find one such Captain Bartholomew Gale. There's one thing I neglected to say. As you were approaching, I need you to roll perception checks for me, for you to be able to, there's one piece of information you get.
31.
31.
Both 31s. Okay, so you people have been making your way somewhat from inland. You were kind of loitering in an abandoned building the previous night, and you had made your way down to where there is this very large keel boat, is the technical term for it. It's this vessel currently on the wharf, currently docked, and you heard mysterious singing coming from it last night and likewise this morning. As you came to approach it, the singing was continuing until a gunshot rang out over the cold and quiet morning, and the singing stopped instantly. And with your high enough perceptions, you can tell that the gunshot was not intended towards any of you, and it sounds as if the gunshot impacted with something metal. You heard like a crinkling and a like crunching of something being destroyed.
Did it sound like it came from on the boat?
On the boat, 100%.
Okay, so since we're like rehashing this, I would like to really quickly have Snow switch from the Aurora or the Dark Snow form into the Light Step form, utilizing the chant that she usually does before she goes up, simply because I don't know what's up there anymore, since some things are a little different. How high up is this boat, though?
The boat is probably a good, 10 feet, like the brim of the boat, where the railing is. It's probably about 10 feet above where the dock actually is. And you see from up above you, as you're looking upwards, kind of obscured by the sun, it's kind of hard to see him, but there is a stout, grizzled, and hairy man. He wears a captain's tri-hat and has a long red beard and ragged seafarer clothing. He's an oversized dark whale skin reefer jacket, which seems to jingle as he moves, and out from under it, the glint of a scabbard catches the sunlight. The entire aesthetic of this man, from boot to brim, just screams pirate.
Whale skin? Oh no, I have a feeling Melville is not gonna like that.
Who dare tread upon the wharf of Captain Bartholomew Gale?
Didn't you tell us your name last, a few minutes ago?
I don't recall. Are you correcting me?
No, sir.
That is exactly what I thought. And I'll be asking the questions here.
All right.
You came into my town, onto my port. What is it that you're here for? I know every face and every name that goes through this place, and I know not yours.
This is always fun. Well, I'm Snow, leader of the Odd Guild, and these are my guildmates, my party. We're looking for a vessel that can take us out into the sea.
And what would you have need for that for?
We're looking for something.
There are many a people looking for many a thing. I'm afraid if you wish to charter my vessel, you're going to have to be a wee bit more specific.
Yeah, taking all this in, she's a little hesitant to vocalize too much. But she looks back towards Tama and the rest of the group, which is Wilson. Yeah, it's just you two.
Wilson just gives you an enthusiastic thumbs up. Go for it, Snow, you're doing great.
Tama also puts a thumb up.
You see this little sweat bead, and she's like, great. No backup. All right. Well, it seems your vessel is the only one that is available. She turns back towards Bartholomew and sort of does a grandiose gesture.
For just you three, I'm sure you can find someone more willing to take you out amongst the reef.
She gestures to her wolf, who is clearly not standing nearby, but she gestures for him to come closer. I meant all of my companions.
Well, I know the who, lass. I need to know the what and where we're going and what we're looking for.
She turns back towards the group again. Guys, I don't have the directions. I'm telling you right now. Help!
Oh, out to sea. Outward. Do we want to tell him about the whale? Wilson just kind of looks anxiously at all of you.
Tama shrugs.
Thank you, Tama, for your input. It's always appreciated.
Well, we could just tell him we're not exactly sure what it looks like, because we don't.
That could be any whale, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. Or weren't we given, like, cardinal directions or something?
It's like 150 miles out from here.
Actual miles or nautical miles, Wilson?
They're basically the same thing. I don't really work in nautical miles very often.
Right, okay.
I'll roll a survival check. Oh, yeah, I don't work in nautical miles very often.
Oh, darling, it's okay. She pats him on the back. It's okay. We'll look over this later. She turns back towards the captain. I want to be careful about how I word this.
Your indecision grows irksome, lass. Are you the captain of this crew?
And he kind of gestures towards you.
I am the captain of that workshop.
You need to be more stalwart and decisive. If you don't know what you want, how can everyone else around you know what they're going after?
Oh, we know what we want. It's just the direction is where we're questioning.
We're going west, about 100 to 150 miles out to sea.
Snow 100% points the wrong direction when he says
and Wilson just grabs your arm and moves it. You accidentally somehow pointed inland when you knew you wanted to go out to sea.
She panicked. She's totally panicked. Directions are not my thing.
And what business have ye out there?
Okay. What business do we have out there? Well, let's see. Trying to verbalize this to a man who clearly might have a vendetta against a sea creature is a little risque, especially if our choice is to try and talk with the whale. Have you ever run into a sea creature? A sea beast, so to speak? She just looks at Bartholomew.
Many in my years. I've seen all the sea has to offer.
He's seen it all.
The snow feels Zana's joke just kind of like travel across the air. Somehow, it's connected. There's a shiver.
Meanwhile, on the carpet, do you see all this water?
She looks at the captain, unsure of what else to say except the truth. We're looking for a very large whale. You ever heard of the Galem Kette?
None other than the White Glacier itself.
Oh, yeah.
I've seen entire boats cleaved in two. Men dragged down to the deep abyss. Some drowned, some freeze days later.
Sounds like Titanic and Moby Dick all in one. She kind of mutters this back towards the group.
Aye. If you're going after the Galem Kette, then certainly you have found the right vessel to charter.
Yeah, I had a feeling there was like that quest kind of marker. She starts muttering out loud, like the indicator. It was the brazier on the front of the ship, the singing. I love MMOs. So,
when would you like to depart?
Immediately.
Enthusiasm. Blinded and irrational. Just how I like it. Everyone, hop aboard.
Bartholomew undoes a latch, and the railing kind of swings open, and he kind of tosses out a wooden plank. And there is now a gangway connecting the pier to the boat.
I was seriously considering my character just trying to jump, because he would only have to roll a 10 to jump up to 10 feet.
I was thinking about a very similar prospect, especially when I heard the gunshot. I was very confused. I'm still trying to figure out where the gunshot came from. Does it look like he has a rifle on him? Or a
You could
pistol?
roll another perception check, yeah.
Ah.
The first one was just for your hearing based because there was nothing for you to see.
34.
Uh-huh.
I crit.
Jonathan says no. Okay.
I mean, it's still an okay score, but I rolled horribly. So.
Oh, you can give it to me. This is
So I rolled a 1 plus
Nice.
15, so...
So both of you are able to see that it does seem as if he has something cooling now, but somewhat still smoking pistol in his hand. It seems to be very old-fashioned, similar technology, an age to a very early type of pistol, nothing too advanced, similar to like muskets and blunderbusses. It's single shot only. But Snow, as you're going to be the first to walk up the gangway, leading the rest of your party members, you, as you're cresting over to step on to the deck, you notice that there seems to be a crumpled mass of like mechanical parts off by the stern of the boat.
Could I attempt knowledge engineering just by looking at it?
Yeah, you absolutely could.
Okay. 18.
It's kind of strange because it doesn't look entirely... it's not just like a random pile of scrap metal. It definitely looks like it has purpose and form, and in fact looks strangely humanoid, even.
Is Mateo here? I have legitimate questions.
But it looks very, like, thin and gangly and frail. Very, like, scrap pieced together.
It's his target dummy.
Could be a target dummy, sure.
And you all begin making your way up onto the deck.
She'll definitely, like, look over towards it and kind of, like, gesture with her eyes to the boys. Like, what the heck?
Well, that's a pile of metal. Yeah, it's pretty interesting.
Oh, yeah.
Perception on it would be 34. And
Do you have knowledge engineering?
I'm rolling for all knowledge engineering now.
So knowledge engineering, I believe, is a trained skill. So if you're not trained in it, you can't roll it.
Meaning you have to have a rank in it.
Don't have a rank, no.
All right, so you definitely also see some, like, mound of metal, like pipes and wires and gears and cogs, kind of, like, crumpled up in the corner. It seems, like, relatively large, though.
You know what? Snow's going to inquire as to the contents or the purpose of this pile. She looks over towards Bartholomew as she comes aboard and sort of compliments the deck of the ship. How does it actually look okay?
It seems relatively well maintained, but it looks weathered and old. Looking at it, you can see that it's been reinforced and added to over time and repaired. Some pieces look older than others. Some pieces look new. There are, like, sheets of scrap metal attached to the hull of the ship.
Okay, he's been through a few scraps with the whale, guaranteed. No way there hasn't been. Is this a relatively large ship? Like, it requires multiple people to man it?
It certainly looks like it would probably take like 20 to 40 people to probably get this thing off into the open sea.
So, I see you, Captain, but where is your crew?
Fret not, lass. You can make your way. You're free to stay on deck, or you can make your way down into the hall. You don't need to worry about such trifling matters.
I see. I mean, is that part of your crew over there? And she gestures to the pile.
And you see as he actually grabs a hilt by his side, and it seems like he twists something on the top of it and grabs at the scabbard and, like, smacks it down to the ground.
Indeed. Wake up, you landlubbers. It's time to go a-seafaring.
And you see as the mechanical mass and shroud up by the front begins moving and growing taller and taller. It was crumpled up into, like, only 1 foot tall, but it starts almost like unfolding as if it fell over onto itself and stands and erects itself till it's around about 5.5 feet tall, and it looks like a very thin and frail but like robot person.
Who's your maker? She looks the robot up and down.
And you also notice that and hear that a number of doors and hatches from elsewhere on the boat fly open, and multiple other robot individuals kind of clamber out onto the deck and start fastening and loosening ropes as the captain begins making his way to the bow of the boat where the wheel is.
Snow walks over to Tama and Wilson. So, it's a little odd he didn't ask about payment at all. Thoughts, gentlemen?
I mean, maybe he's just like a nice guy who likes giving people free tours.
No, Wilson. Oh, no.
Or maybe he knows that if he has us out there, we can't really negotiate price well.
And he'll rob us and leave us adrift in the sea. Oh, no, that's one of my worst fears is being left out in the ocean.
And as you're having this conversation, you do feel as the boat begins to lurch forward.
I'm regretting this already.
As you have asked absolutely no one else in town what they think about this individual. You have never agreed on price. You now begin accelerating out into the open ocean where none of you have any other means of escape other than teleportation.
Listen, at least it's an option, okay?
At least there's an option.
Maybe.
Who knows how the game mechanics work? Meanwhile, on a magic carpet ride far, far out to sea.
Zana stares out into the endless ocean, aggressively trying to not make eye contact with her onboard compatriot, Draken. Just very intently staring upon the horizon.
And you feel as there is... so you have, obviously, the forward breeze coming from your momentum of flying on the carpet, but you feel as there's, like, a gentle wind going directly into your ear, and you feel a presence looming just behind you.
She slowly turns her head with a sour look on her face.
Is this how the whole trip's gonna be?
Sorry, I just, thought the ocean was beautiful.
I mean, yeah, sure, I guess, but, like, you can literally, like, you've been staring at it for, like, the past hour.
I like salt.
You can't see salt. You can't taste it. I mean,
But I
a
can
little
feel
bit of
it.
ocean breeze.
I know it's there. Salty.
But it's going to be all around you regardless of where you look at that logical point.
Look, man, I gotta talk to a whale that can eat us in, like, some amount of time whenever we get there.
3 days, 4
Is
days.
it gonna take us 3 days to get there? Oh
yeah,
my god.
Absolutely. It's going to be a while.
No.
Oh yeah, just me and you on a midnight carpet going anywhere.
I didn't think it would take that long.
It is 150 nautical miles off the coast.
I don't know what nautical miles are.
A nautical mile is larger than a regular mile.
See, that's the thing, Draken. You always have all the answers.
I'm sorry, I went to school and read books.
I went to school. Not for education, but I went to schools.
Oh, it's gonna be 3 days of this.
And roll a perception check for me.
14.
What we can do is, if you would like to, we can fast forward to when you would encounter something. It wouldn't happen until significantly later in the evening. It would be a lot of dull traveling and flying and a lot of awkward conversation.
She does have a question for Draken.
Oh, yeah, feel free.
I don't understand how you got to where you are.
Well, what is that supposed? I stepped on a carpet and you said, and I quote, "Vámonos."
That's
And
because this
now
carpet
I'm
is
here.
Spanish activated. I had a little manual I had to read. Did you not? I can't believe, like, so many of you guys didn't do that.
Why?
Event quest.
It's so conspicuous. It's the opposite of inconspicuous.
But at the, reward of a flying frickin' carpet, man.
I don't know. I'm just immensely whelmed at the prospect.
See, this is why I don't understand how you got to where you are. Because you're like, you became the pseudo leader of the Odd Guild. You started your own guild. So
Yep,
you
still have
obviously
that.
have to
Yep.
have some people who, like, I don't know if like is the right word, but respect you enough to, like, follow your leadership. And I'll admit, you're a smart guy. You know what's going on. But, like, your personality sometimes is insufferable. I think I should stop.
Well, as you so aptly put it, there are enough people who are obligated to follow my direction, but they do not tend to enjoy my company.
Does that
Hence,
make you lonely?
no, it just makes me understand that they are generally inferior to me. So I tend to tag along with the most competent individuals, which somehow, by a sheer feat of nothing short of a miracle, is somehow Snow's group. It trust me, it boggles my mind too. I don't understand why I am where I am.
What was your initial reaction when you found out we were going to be trapped in the game? I mean, because you obviously logged on like everybody else, just to, have fun, escape for a bit, but you seem to take this a lot more seriously than a lot of other people.
Originally, I honestly didn't believe it. I thought that it was some marketing tactic, some ploy to excuse probably some error in the system, which some malfunction of the game where people weren't able to log out. Server issues happen quite frequently, disconnections from certain things. So if our mental consciousness is being transported to one collective area, if somehow we were able to get disconnected from that, it would make sense that we wouldn't be able to log out. It took a while for it to kind of sink in, but after it did, I saw it more as an opportunity. I mean, the Game Master, after all, has stated that if you beat the game, you win the game, in the most literal sense that you would then become the owner of said company, and you would own all of the assets therefore associated with it.
Oh, is that what he was implying?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Oh.
So, I mean, consequences be damned, we beat the game, then all of a sudden, I would then own said mega corporation, and all of its manufacturing processes, all of its employees, all of its assets.
Yeah. Who wouldn't want to own a corrupt corporation funded on the blood of other people?
I mean, hey, listen, companies get bought out all the time and can get turned around for the better. You can just liquidate all the assets, file for bankruptcy, and start your own project.
Oh, my dude, that was satire. You have no idea how many corporations are soaked in blood.
Oh, no, absolutely. But I'm saying is just because you don't have to let past history define you. You can attempt to redeem yourself, or at the very least cut your losses and move forward.
Huh. She kind of takes that statement to heart a little bit.
I was going to say that the game, if the person does win the game and owns the game, there's going to be a lot of lawsuits.
That's what I was saying.
We have this conversation all the time. It's like,
I was like, Draken's an idiot. He doesn't realize he's not going to have money when this is over.
Yeah, it's just like, congratulations, I created this giant problem, and now you own it. I'm going to completely remove myself from all of the incoming lawsuits as you are now the CEO.
If you think about, like, Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, basically did kind of
very similar.
I mean,
Yeah.
not as many. There's going to be like 3 lawsuits, but
People died. I mean, people died in this game too, so it's all the same.
So, and I definitely don't mean to be rude here, but do you have friends in real life?
Yeah, I have plenty of friends. So some of them are in the game, and we hang out.
Oh, well, I guess that's good for you.
They're just they're doing their own thing.
Yeah,
I mean,
no, I totally have a bunch of friends in real life too. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I started Dark Guild with the initial 5 of them.
Oh yeah, you got that masked fellow, and then the one that does origami.
Yeah.
Those are the only 2 I remember, bro. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I'm not gonna disclose their names because it's kind of weird. We're on the internet, you know. But yeah, I mean, I have a core group of friends, just like any regular person. I mean, I'm an actual person.
I am also a regular person who has, regular friends outside of this game. Totally.
I mean, that's good. It's like a healthy, relationship structure that you.
I don't think I knew. I don't think I'm good at making friends in real life. I think the only reason I have friends here is because we're all based off of survival instinct, and I don't know how to kill things well.
I mean, hey, that is a very useful skill. And I mean, I'm sure that you could find that applicable in real life circumstances as well, and find people who need that.
Oh yeah, there's definitely people that need that.
So I mean, hey, you can. I'm sure it's not because we are all functionally trapped in this reality and we have no other alternative options to turn to that they decide to spend their time with you.
Zana, she has her feet dangling off the carpet as they're riding, and so she leans back to lay on the
face. M's face right now.
What an asshole!
Zana has her feet dangling off the carpet as they're flying, and so she puts her hands behind her head and starts to lean back as she stares into the sky and says, Do you think that the connections we make here will last in real life? Or do you think once the game is over, all those people that we met and friendships that we made, they're all just going to disappear?
I feel like it's entirely dependent on the relationships you make. There are contractual, obligatory relationships where you need to make them to survive, but then I wholeheartedly believe that you can make genuine connections with people.
Wow, that I think is the nicest thing you've ever said.
I'm not saying I have that with you. This is more of like a coworker, associate. If anything, I'm like more the manager, and you're like the.
I mean, we could be friends if you wanted. If you became like a little bit less of an ass.
I don't know. It's just. We'll put a pin in it.
No pins needed, buddy.
I mean, we can like journey back. We can circle back. You know, we'll see.
I mean, we do have a lot in common, if you think about it.
Do we?
You have a bird companion.
Yeah.
I have a bird companion.
That's like
People
a very
find you
superficial thing.
insufferable.
That's like
People
saying
find
we both
me
have blue eyes.
insufferable.
Like that means absolutely nothing.
I like the the conversations that are happening at the same time with this. It's actually perfect.
Yeah.
Either way, yeah, you might not be as bad as other people think you are.
Yeah, I tend not to be. I mean, honestly, at the end of the day, I feel like society always looks for someone to demonize because we have to rally behind a joint cause to find purpose in our lives.
Do you do like philosophy? Is like that your major in real life?
Certainly not my major, more of like a hobby. I just like, I enjoy being educated.
You seem like a Galileo enjoyer.
I mean, he was an okay guy, I guess. I mean,
What the quack? You mean okay guy? You ever met him?
I mean, no. He died literally like, at least hundreds. I don't know.
History, not your strength.
No, I mean, it just like that time period in particular about
The
like
Renaissance?
And you and Draken just make casual conversations. It's strange because even though he tried to subvert your proposal of friendship and kind of like try to keep it down low, you're having like an actual genuine conversation with him, and for once it's not about the game that you're trapped in. It's actually about like who you are as people and individuals and like what you do and enjoy outside of this life or death situation that most
Can I
people
roll diplomacy to make him like me better? Throughout this conversation.
you can roll a diplomacy and then a sense motive.
Aww. Diplomacy 18.
Mm-hmm.
Sense motive 20.
It's like I said, you're having this like actual like genuine conversation with him, and it seems as if you're both kind of opening up to one another, and you're joking and being lighthearted, but it's kind of hard to tell Draken's genuine emotion because he seems to mask it under like layers of sarcasm. So it's like very hard to tell.
Well, either way, I like that I can be honest with you no matter what. I feel no need to lie to you because I can just straight up tell you you're acting like a jerk, and you're like, yeah, well, sometimes I have to.
And we pan back over to the boat.
Yeah, guys, I'm kind of a little concerned here.
Well, why? I mean, we're making great headway. We should be there honestly by tomorrow.
Oh, yeah, well...
Pretty good time. A lot faster than I thought we were going to get there.
Well, this is mildly concerning to me because, listen, I'm still concerned about the fact that there was no discussion about payment.
I mean, we can go talk to him.
Wilson, you're supposed to be my duck. You're bad duck.
Quack?
Thank you.
Okay.
To be fair, you are the leader, so shouldn't have you talked about payment.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like you had this thought and just like never verbalized it.
I know. Well, there were concerns.
Do you want me to go verbalize it for you?
No.
Are you sure? You seem a little hesitant now.
Listen, we're kind of on a boat.
Yeah, with a complete stranger we never met before. And his entire crew of like 20 robots. And it's just us three.
Listen, good leadership always listens to the people that they're in charge of, right? So, listen, if you got opinions, share them. I'm begging you.
Yeah, I mean, we probably should ask him, like, what he wants. I mean, like I said, I'm offering to do that for you if you want.
All right, fine.
Do you need like a pep talk, a shoulder rub? Like,
shoulder rub would be great right now.
And like Wilson just like goes over and like really like kneads into them, but like not too hard, but like rubs out the muscles.
Yeah. Oh yeah, this is good. All right. I feel.
Go get him, champ. You got this.
Yeah,
he just pats your shoulders and like kind of pushes you forward.
All right. I got this.
Tama looks kind of a little slightly confused about the whole situation, but just kind of makes slight.
I mean, I don't know what's going on either, but my mother always said, like, when a woman seems a little confused, like she doesn't know what to do, you should just give her a shoulder rub, it'll make everything better. Words to live by, honestly. Works every time. Either that or give them a bread roll. Solves so many problems.
I feel like a dog over here.
You either pet them or give them a treat.
Good God. So she walks over towards wherever Bartholomew is stationed.
He's at the wheel as he's kind of steering the ship. He does seem to be doing it almost lackadaisically, as if this is not a very difficult portion of your journey. He's actually sat back in a large chair, which is kind of actually reclined. He's leaning back on the back two legs, and he's got his foot up. And that's what he's using to steer, is the heel of his foot between two pegs of the wheel.
Oh, Captain, my Captain. It seems that we never discussed the subject of payment.
Roll a perception check.
Sure. 17.
He's got his tri-cornered cap over his face, and he does not seem to be responding to you at the time.
Great. Okay. She'll get a little bit closer and listen to see if she hears any snoring or strange breathing patterns.
How close do you get?
Like 3 feet away.
Roll another perception check.
23.
You hear a kind of harsh and forced breathing, as if each breath is kind of a chore and a struggle. But it seems to be relatively quiet and consistent.
She'll slowly reach over and try and tap him on his shoulder at the very least.
As you go to tap his shoulder, you gently push on him, and you see as the chair begins to lean back a little too far, and then all of a sudden his foot just slams down on the ground. He rebalances himself, and in the direction that he felt the pressure and force, he just immediately pulls a gun out of his waistcoat and points it right at you.
That's not quite appreciated.
No, lass, I'm... the deepest apologies. Best not to wake up a sleeping captain.
And he just uncocks the pistol and puts it back in his coat.
You know, I guess the best thing then is to tell me how I'm supposed to rouse you when you are in such a stupor.
Generally, just stand around about a good 5-10 feet away, shout my name very loudly, and then immediately duck.
Ah. All right, then. Well, as I was trying to be kind of poetic earlier, I guess that's kind of ruined now. She like kind of she does verbalize that out loud, frustrated.
Never was one for poetry, really. Seemed too superfluous and unnecessary. Just say what you mean. Get out with it.
Well, my good captain, it seems that we never discussed your terms of payment, and you were quite enthusiastic about launching into this expedition with us immediately. Seems a mite suspicious, don't you think?
You said you were after the White Glacier, and that is all I need know.
And why are you after it?
For the same reason as many a fallen friend, and for many an ally and comrade as well. Everyone wants the head of the beast.
Well, not exactly sure why you would, although it seems you have been through quite a lot, you and your ship. She looks over towards the damaged parts of the ship and back towards him.
I mean, I wouldn't suspect you would understand why I would. You don't know me.
Yeah, well...
My ambitions are a bit of an enigma to you, I would imagine.
That's a big word.
What, you think I'm not educated?
Nah,
just because I've got a raspy voice and I live out on the sea, like we have books, you know. Like I'm from Air Belgium. They educate you quite strictly there.
Oh God, you're from that place.
Only the smartest people actually get positions of power. Do you understand how much rigorous education you have to go through in order to be head whaler?
So you're the head whaler?
Indeed. I am, at this point, honestly, one of the only whalers left.
Okay, well, seriously though, I think we have different definitions of going after this Galem Kette.
Right, we find it, we kill it. That's it.
Yeah, no. Ooh, wait, no, perfect. We're looking to study this creature.
Yes, I also intend to study its gullet as it is cut open and spilled all over my deck, and I harvest its blubber for oil.
This is going swimmingly.
Water puns.
All right, well, I'm sure the Bureau of Education would not be interested in their subject of interest being disemboweled.
I don't know what the Bureau of Education has to do with this. I work on behalf of the Ignis Corporation.
Is that under the Dawn?
No, but the Ignis Corporation does have affiliations with the Dontero Corporation as well. Beatrice La Ignis does tend to make, and in partnership with Benedict, make a lot of inventions, joint efforts together.
Oh, God. And has Beatrice asked you to go after this whale in particular?
Oh, not in particularly, but I will say that a haul of that size would absolutely meet my quota for many years. But furthermore, I have a personal vendetta with the beast.
What, he kill your daughter or something? Wife? Child? In general? Children?
A sailor has no wife, and his mistress is the sea. Alas, he sunk 4 of my finest vessels and the entirety of my crew with them.
Ah.
The Solace here is all that remains. It is little in payment for all the souls that it stole.
Well, I'm sure if you asked the whale, he'd feel the same way.
What's that supposed to mean? The mindless beast cleaved through 4 of my finest ships, and literally dozens of people died.
Well, the Bureau of Education has reasons to believe otherwise, that this whale may be an intelligent creature that should be protected.
Do you have any documentation about this? Are you telling me Lasimus is interested in this?
Wilson!
What? Oh, hey, Snow.
Hey.
Talk's going good? Does he just wants money?
Tama, come over here, guys.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Tom. Cool. And both of them just walk up.
Do you happen to have the paperwork that Camille Lysimus bestowed upon us?
I've never seen that woman in my life.
Yeah.
What? Did you receive something from her?
Yes, Wilson.
When
Remember
was
that
this?
paperwork that we got? She looks
Tama, were you there?
towards Tama,
Because, I wasn't there.
hoping that there is some level of understanding.
You roll bluff, Snow, and Tama, you roll sense motive, and I will let you know that the captain also gets to roll sense motive. And we will see who picks up what you're putting down.
30 on sense motive.
I forget, is it dance that applies the bluff or is it sing?
You're gonna, undulate your body to deliver a message.
Listen. Dun, 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 dun. 25 on my bluff.
Okay. With that, Snow successfully does deliver this secret intention to Tama. It appears as if you are able to grasp the situation very fully. Snow is attempting to convince the captain that you have some form of documentation from Camille Lysimus, which you know you don't have, but you know she wants you to make up some reason or explanation for.
Oh, yes, the paperwork. I'm pretty sure we sent that with our other partner who went out on the carpet.
All right, so we'll have
is the main person in charge of most of the paperwork that we obtain.
Oh, you're right. Okay, so we'll have to reach out to him. Our associate should be returning to us shortly. They'll meet us out at sea. But I would hope, Captain, that you understand the importance of this mission that we're on.
Oh, I will once I see the documentation, absolutely,
All right.
yes.
No attacking the whale until then, at the very least.
How about that? Once I see the documentation and can prove its legitimacy, then I will hold off on the whale. However, if I see the whale before I see those papers, nothing will stop me from driving a harpoon directly through its heart.
I see. And so you know where this whale is currently, or how long it might take us to get there?
Sure, we should be there by about this time tomorrow. Probably earlier in the morning.
Yep, okay. She smiles. Well, Captain?
That is if we survive.
I think we'll be all right, Captain.
Oh, I mean, we should be. I'm a very experienced sailor. However, It is very difficult to be able to navigate the glacial crown.
Plus, I've heard he's quite good at poker.
Who? Your associate who's coming with the paperwork?
No, the Galem Kette.
Yes.
It's very
the
good
whale
poker.
plays
Yes.
poker.
Yes.
Yes. With a giant eagle.
I've got to say, I've been at sea for many years, and potentially I have missed some new advancement in humor, as this has gone completely beyond me.
Oh no, the Bureau of Education has advanced far beyond your wildest dreams at this point.
Well, I have to be honest, I really never did like Lysimus. She could quite honestly burn in hell. So if you're in association with her, la-ti-da, go on about your business. If you want to make personal jokes behind my back, they're not going to mean anything to me.
I mean, do you enjoy poker?
I am one more for liar's dice.
Ooh. She looks over at Tama and Wilson. Could be a game to pass the time while we wait. But on the meantime, I'm going to message our associate, so I'll be back.
Sure, take your time. I mean, we're going to be going in a straight direction unless anything changes.
Okay, so Snow walks away.
Yeah. Well, I think that went pretty well. I didn't know Drake. When did you guys have this conversation with
Wilson.
Lysimus? That's impressive.
Wilson, you're dense.
What?
You're so dense.
I mean, no more dense than any other person. I'm pretty sure we're all made of the same material, more or less.
Tama looks at him.
I mean, I drank a lot of milk growing up. My bone density should be pretty solid.
Where's Kilson when I need him?
Tama, though, when he said we're all made of the same stuff, he kind of looks at him and then kind of slightly gestures to himself.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you're literally made of rocks, but I assume that, like, you're not like that in real life. So, like, because we're in a video game, these things are kind of skewed. But if anything, then, Snow, yeah, Tama's way more denser than I am.
You know what, Wilson? We'll talk about this later. She just continues to walk away to another side of the boat.
Sure.
And begins to message, basically in the group chat. So, there was once a wise man who said, crime doesn't pay.
I think that man was an idiot.
I was going to say, it
Crime
actually
pays very well.
It-
There's so many amoral individuals who make so much money.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to correct you on that one. My family is dealing in the millions of billions, and
So, how are you all at forgeries?
I mean, I know a guy.
Draken, we need to forge some documents from the Bureau of Education, more specifically from Camille Lysimus sending out orders that the Galem Kette is supposed to be protected at all costs. Or else the captain of the ship that we're on is going to attack and try to kill it.
or maybe. Wait, is she in this? Is this a group chat or?
Yes, this is a group chat, and Draken just sends a very long with a ...
Or maybe when we get close, incapacitate the captain and then convince him it was someone else.
Well, we're gonna be there tomorrow.
Plus, he has an army of about 20, at least 20 robot people.
Yeah, like androids.
All right, well, I can see what I can muster up, but I have to inform you that all government documentation has sigils and emblems which switch in rotation quite regularly. So in an attempt to forge such a thing is incredibly difficult if you want it to be accurate.
We could try contacting Stefan.
Yes, but if you're actually... I can see what I can do. It's not going to be easy. Worst case scenario, Zana has a wonderful point. Just murder the guy and steal his boat.
I never said murder,
I'm just saying crime pays well.
but I'm not going to say that that wouldn't work.
He does seem to have something on him that controls the robots. We might be able to steal that, worst case scenario.
Like literally, we only needed you to get out there. If all goes well, we should get a checkpoint to the next floor.
But this is also an opportunity to screw over Camille Lysimus.
I don't. Well, how does that?
Listen,
work?
got something bad in her name. I don't know.
So you not only want me to attempt to manufacture a document which can fool
this individual, you want it to be so official looking that it is going to permanently damage this woman's reputation.
I mean, she is part of the group that trapped us here and seems to be enjoying doing so kinda, yeah.
All right, I'll see what I can do. However, you have given me a tall order and less than 24 hours.
I know. Listen, it's okay. If you can't get it done, let us know and we will try plan B, which is to steal his sword thing and then tie him up somewhere.
You had this conversation relatively early on in the day. It was, you chartered the vessel a few hours after sunrise, and you had been out on the open sea, kind of anxious and nervous about the happenings and goings-on. So you had this around about midday, slightly before, probably, let's say, 11. And since then, you've kind of been traveling, you got peckish, you all ate food, kind of relaxed. But as it approaches dawn, and the sun is setting, you actually see off in the horizon a dot in the sky, and as you approach it, you can make out the vague outline of it, and it is unmistakably too large to be a bird. And you notice it is your compatriots. As the boat moves significantly faster than the flying carpet, you have, at this point, caught up with them.
Wait, is that the boat? Is that the boat they're on?
Oh, I know you're not telling me that we're at the boat.
I think the boat caught up with us, which...
You do get a message from Snow. Is that you guys?
I think so. Does this mean that this whole time I didn't need to... Oh, I'm just gonna...
Oh no. You get a laughing face, like 5 of them in a row. Laughing face emoji. Dying.
You see the carpet descend a bit and come towards the boat. You've gotta be kidding me.
Oh, be careful, he might shoot you down.
I was about to say, and as you descend and get close to the boat, you do hear as a gunshot rings out.
We're friends. We're friends.
Snow does walk over towards the captain. Captain, those are my compatriots that I was talking about.
Wonderful. That was a warning signal to let them know where we were.
And he just puts his pistol away, and you see as all the robots seem to sheath metal swords and begin walking back to what they were doing.
Oh, she sighs very heavily. Oh my god.
I really wish you were joking about the army of robot pirates. And I also wish you were more serious about my 24-hour deadline.
I told you we would be getting to the whale tomorrow.
Well, I do not
Don't
have
worry.
any...
Draken,
you know what? No, let me see. What can I... Oh, yep, here you go. And he just...
Scribbles on a sheet of paper and stamps something on it.
Draken, I can handle this. Hand me the paper.
He hands you what looks to be a neatly folded and pressed letter, which is then kind of rolled up and put in a clear cylindrical tube.
No, that's not gonna help. Just... Okay.
I'm trying to make it look as official as possible.
I got this. So, Zana takes the tube
Sure.
and steers near the boat.
Yep.
And she takes it out of the tube before getting out of the carpet. She's standing on the carpet, takes it out of the tube. Hey, Snow, we got that document you wanted to see. Did you want us to hand it to you there? And then she falls off the carpet into the sea. Can I roll bluff?
I mean, are you bluffing or are you falling?
Oh, I'm falling. But I'm bluffing that this is the documentation.
I mean, sure, you can roll.
I got the document from Camille.
Yeah, sure.
Hand it to you?
Roll your bluff.
Okay, I'm gonna have to roll sense motive because I'm about to freak out.
That's a 36 bluff, my dude.
Very nice.
28 on my sense motive.
You know that that's not an official document because this is planned. However, you do think that this is Draken's best attempt at a forgery, and you see as she stumbles over as if she intended to stop but lost her footing, slips and just plummets 30 feet straight into the water.
Snow, seeing this, runs towards the side of the boat to see where she fell to see if there's any way that she can grab her or not.
Good. Make it convincing.
You hear the captain shout, "Man overboard!"
Zana emerges from the water. Oh my gosh! Them winds! They're so unpredictable.
Swimming time.
And you feel as a life preserver is tossed to you.
I make sure that the document is... I swish it around in the water, man.
Oh, I mean, no, it's
Just let it go.
like
But
terribly...
I have a little piece of it left
certainly, sure.
as I take the life.
It is drenched, ink-smeared, seal in almost illegible.
Great, good.
So you get pulled up.
Yep. You actually get hoisted back up to the boat, lifted, as this life preserver is actually attached to a rope, and you get pulled towards the boat, and you are actually now ascending up the side. You're brought on board by 2 robots.
Oh man, I am so sorry. Oh no.
They kind of pat you off and hand you a towel.
Well, thank you.
Snow runs over, looking at Zana.
No. The document.
No, what a shame. It looks like you have no documentation to prove that I can't kill the whale.
I have a little bit. She hands him the soggy scrap.
Oh, so you walk up to the captain?
Yeah. Holding out. I'm so sorry, man.
Oh, unfortunately, that just looks like smeared ink on a page. I can't, that's not legible.
Dude. Oh, man.
Zana.
She's gonna kill me. She's actually gonna kill me. I'm gonna die.
Oh, if that was a genuine letter from Lysimus, absolutely. Oh, well, to be fair, it won't be quick or painless. You'll probably be utilized as one of her various lab experiments.
Yeah, I know. She's a bit cruel. However, I do have a solution for us. I can talk to the whale. If I can talk to the whale and get him to... I don't know, man.
Well, if you can talk to the whale and tell him to sit still as I plunge my scabbard as far up into its chest, wrenching out its flesh and ripping out its skeleton, that would make things significantly easier.
I have a better idea.
Sure, shoot with me
Not
straight.
Doing that. Do you even know what the Galem Kette is? Do you know why she wanted to keep it alive? Are you...
Zana. Snow just kind of like walks over and puts her arm around her shoulder. Give us a moment to let me talk with my compatriot. She seems to have swallowed a lot of seawater.
And you notice as the captain's face it turned from excitement due to the state of the documentation, as he wanted it to be destroyed as much as anyone else, because then he would have received no official order or notice. There would be plausible deniability on his part. But as you're mentioning a peaceable resolution to an interaction with the Galem Kette, he seems to get livid, like face turning like blood red, like anger furrowed brow levels of livid. But then before he could say anything, Snow just kind of quickly ushers you away from him.
Zana, please tell me, dear God, that was not the letter that we asked for. That was a fake, right? That was you were just playing a prank, right? That's not the one that was asked for?
That was a 20-second thing that Draken did on the carpet as we were approaching. Would not have fooled him for a second. Probably would have gotten you shot on sight. You're welcome.
He's not super educated. He's kind of like mediocre at best.
Which is why we can intimidate him with Camille's name, not to hurt the quacking whale.
I don't think that he does not care. We're out on the sea.
Why would you even bring stinking Camille into this? You didn't have to mention her name.
It wasn't on purpose, actually. I was mentioning the Bureau of Education because I was being like, oh, smart people want the whale to be alive because they're usually conservationists.
Okay.
Well, and then apparently she's in charge of that. I forgot. I'm sorry.
I think you made this more of a situation because I'm not fighting that whale.
We're not going to fight the whale. We're going to figure out a way to not fight the whale. But currently the boat that we're on is...
Dude, I don't know if you see this, but that guy, she points to the captain. He wants to fight the whale.
And you see him angrily swinging around his sword as he's actually hacking away at one of the posts, and it seems as if he puts another notch into it, and there are dozens of notches running up and down either side.
He has some anger issues, okay?
Why would you pick a boat with a captain of a robot army that has anger issues?
Okay, now listen. It was the only boat that would fit all of us, including Nachia. She
Look.
gestures towards her wolf.
We could have gotten a big canoe and I could have pulled us on our carpets instead of taking an actual seafaring voyage with a captain who has a vendetta against the creature we're trying to ask a favor from.
Well, like I said, we have the option of mutiny.
Mutiny.
I don't... Snow, again, is looking at the robots, trying to determine who the maker of the robots was.
You could roll another knowledge engineering.
Trying to figure out if it was Vasquez or Mateo. 28. It's the highest I can roll.
With an somewhat old but intimate knowledge of the previous construct creators, both Dr. Vasquez and also his effective adoptive son, Mateo, you are intimately familiar with their work. You know their craftsmanship and their quality, and you can tell that these robots are absolutely nothing in comparison to those. These are shoddy, scrapped, thrown together haphazard robots, which honestly it's surprising that a strong breeze does not knock them over. They are not very sturdily built, and they are completely unrecognizable from the high quality work which you tend to associate with constructs.
All right. I have a plan. This is a test.
Is it as good as your other plan that I had to bail you out of? Because if he saw a forgery that fake, he would have killed you, probably.
He wouldn't have killed us. We would have killed him first. I'm trying to avoid the fight as long as I possibly can. But yes, I have an idea. She messages Draken really quick. So, you got some ducks in your inventory?
Yeah, I've got 256 ducks in my inventory.
All right. So, this is a very clear and terrible test, but it's a test nonetheless. The robots that we interacted with Mateo, at least, were responsive to interacting with objects that weren't part of their original programming.
Okay, sure.
We can figure out if they're intelligent or if they're basic enough just by handing them a duck.
You want me to go around and give every robot a duck?
Yes.
I don't think you understand the ramifications.
Draken, you can spread the curse.
If we are unlucky enough, and we were on this boat for a long enough period of time, there's a theoretical universe where the actions you suggest could literally sink this ship. However, I think it's absolutely hilarious, and I want to see it happen. So Draken is actually still up on the flying carpet, and you see as he's like looking over the edge and kind of eyeballing it and noticing that it's like 30 feet away, and you see he has numerous markings up and down his arms. One of them glows a bright white light, and then very suddenly goes dim once more, and he just jumps, leaping and bounding the whole 30 feet, landing on the deck. And then he just starts approaching all the robots and handing them a duck.
Oh, dude, I could have pulled the carpet closer, and she moves for the carpet to return to her bag of holding on her back.
Yeah, I mean, you certainly could have, but I mean, it's also almost the end of the day, and these recharge daily, so...
I mean, fair enough.
Yeah, it is kind of...
Ducks, Draken. So are the robots taking the ducks?
It does appear as if Draken is successfully able to interrupt them from whatever they're doing. He somehow attempts to communicate with them in some fashion. They hold out their hand and they appear to receive the duck. Most of them only have 3 fingers, and they all seem to kind of like play with it a little bit. Eventually, like, there's just a cacophony of squeaking. Just all go, like, no one is doing their job. Everyone is just trying to figure out what they've been handed, and they're all just squeaking rubber ducks. At which point, the captain just, like, bellows.
All right, I've let you on the boat. We're out on in the middle of the sea. Supposedly there's documentation to stop me from doing the only thing I desire to do in life. And now, somehow, there is a cacophony of squeaking.
Snow pulls out a duck. Just try it. It's a new invention from the Bureau.
It's a stress toy.
He just whips out this pistol and shoots the duck out of your hand.
You're right. That was immensely cathartic.
She pulls out another one.
And you see as he reaches once again to his waist, grabs the palm of the sword and seems to twist the pommel of the hilt and just kind of rotates it. And all of a sudden, all of the robots drop the ducks, and they go back to work.
Snow just sends a message to the group, kind of like off to the side as she walks away. Did you see what he did?
Yes?
That's what we need to steal from him if we can't stop this whole fiasco. Also, the poor robots can't play with their ducks now. Thank you, Draken.
That was probably one of the most satisfying sights I have seen in the past 3 weeks.
Zana will walk over to Tama and Wilson and start engaging in conversation.
Sure.
Apparently, that whole little carpet ride was unnecessary. Wilson, did you know that this ship would catch up with us?
I mean, I know how fast a boat goes. I don't know how fast a magic carpet goes. That kind of, like, extends beyond my purview and understanding of reality. Not something I've, like, experienced before.
Apparently, we're dealing with something called nautical miles.
Oh, yeah. Nautical miles. It's a little bit over a mile.
I mean, if it was a choice between a ship and a carpet, I'm going to choose the ship just because I don't trust the carpet.
I mean, yeah, like, a stiff wind could blow. You could capsize in the air, like, it folds or, like, turns over, like, rock the boat, but with, like, wind instead of water.
She wrings some water out of her long black hair, and she goes, yeah, you could accidentally...
Like,
and she
fall off. Right, exactly what happened to you. Like, that was terrible.
Yep.
I don't want to live that life.
Because that was a total accident.
Yeah, exactly. Like, that could happen to anyone.
Zana, how are you feeling? Snow kind of walks over. Are you cold at all? You fell into this freezing water.
I have a little bit of cold resistance, so I'm like okay-ish, but I do not like being wet.
I mean, it's only going to get you so far. If we get into like absolutely sub-zero temperatures, I don't know how well you're going to fare. Here, dry off with this, and she tosses you a blanket.
The robots gave me a towel.
You're still wet though.
She points over to 2 robots, and they kind of just give a thumbs up.
She waves at the 2 robots.
So, do you know what time we're going to be arriving tomorrow? Because I do have a scroll of sleep. I actually have I think I have 6 left.
Let's see, what time did I message you yesterday? About this time, right?
About this time tomorrow, or
no. I think we're going to be there soon. So,
well, you have a long rest's worth. You know you'll be arriving early in the morning.
Okay, so she would clarify that then. Sounds like we'll probably be there around tomorrow morning, early. So
what I can do is I can potentially sneak into the captain's quarters and make him fall asleep for a long time. Give him a good nappy nap.
Sure, Zana, if you want to try doing that, see if you can get a hold of that sword.
Tama, do you have knowledge in nature?
Tama does not, no.
Okay, but you are standing next to Wilson. So while you're off having your conversation with Zana, attempting to plot the downfall and potential mutiny for this captain, Wilson kind of just gestures at Tama and points off into the distance. Yeah, the sea's getting kind of choppy, and I think I see dark clouds up ahead, and we're kind of going straight into it. I hope you can put 2 and 2 together. That means we're going to probably be in a storm at sea, which is when the majority of casualties happen.
Yeah, large waves. I get it.
And furthermore than that, I do believe we're approaching our destination. So if I have my words correctly, the captain said we are going to be approaching the Crown of Glaciers or something along those lines.
Is he saying that out loud or just to Tama?
He is talking out loud to Tama. You're kind of in the middle of the conversation. Okay. You could roll a perception check.
Sure.
To see if you overhear any of it.
30.
You absolutely overhear Wilson in a somewhat concerned tone addressing Tama about the upcoming weather.
Snow turns. Her face goes a little white. Say what now?
To put it in the appropriate and apt seafarer's terms, a storm's a brewing. And it's coming up as it looks like we're going to be approaching the glaciers. As you do see, it almost looks as if there is a landmass off in the distance, but you can see that it isn't joined by anything on the surface. It is nothing but an entire field of glaciers, jagged, frozen pillars ascending out from the seascape, and who knows how far they go below the ocean depths.
I guess that's the glacial crown that he was talking about.
With the evening coming quick upon you, you hear a firm banging on the deck. And Snow, you recognize this to be the scabbard of the captain banging on the deck as he makes an announcement.
All right, all you landlubbers, I'm sure your sea legs are still weak, and if you haven't been able to tell, we're in for a little bit of a bumpy ride. The sea's going to get a bit choppy, and honestly, I don't know what the wind conditions will be like. It'd probably be safest for you down the hall. Especially as the night's coming to a close, you'll find some spare hammocks down there.
Right.
Don't worry, I've survived many a day and night like this. You are probably in the best hands that the Frozen Wharf has to offer, and honestly, all of Erveldum. There is no better captain to navigate these trying times.
All right. So, Snow will then make her way towards the hull.
So there does appear to be a descending staircase which goes down into the belly of the ship, which, as you have been directed to, you all begin filing down into as you do hear off in the distance a crack of lightning. So, the day is coming to an end. You know that your destination will be upon you early in the morning. You have enough time to get a long rest, if you would like, but it is always your choice. What would you like to do?
I got enough rest at the carpet, but I will be enacting that plan.
So what, you wish to sneak into the captain's quarters?
I wish to make the captain fall asleep, take a nice nap.
That's not a great idea.
Not during a storm, at least.
No, not during the storm.
I was gonna say, lots of glaciers kind of need an experienced captain.
I'm not saying right now. I'm saying at some point when we get the chance, when we get near the Galem Kette, make this man fall asleep. He can't control the robots. We can steal his sword.
So, how would you be going about doing that? Sleep is a ranged spell, but you do have to be within a particular distance of him. If you are down in the hall, you won't be able to cast it on him.
No.
So when would you intend to attempt to sleep him, and where would you like to be in order to do that?
In order to make him fall asleep, I would turn invisible.
Okay.
Potentially create an illusion of myself with Alistair.
Sure.
And distract him and make him fall asleep.
Okay. So you wish to do this just before you arrive on the following morning, yes?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
After the storm, after the glaciers.
Awesome. Who all intends on resting? Is there anything else anyone would like to do? She has a plan for early in the morning. Is there anything anyone would like to do now? There are plenty of spare hammocks, and there are a couple of windows, little hatches, which line the hull of the ship. So you can kind of see out to the sea.
I would like to explore the hull of the ship a little bit just to see if there's anything down here we might be able to use in case there is a situation where we go under.
Can you be a little bit more specific about what you're looking for?
Whether or not it is a magic item or something along the lines of, there's, I don't know if there's anything like this. I guess, I'm thinking, Harry Potter, wizard, the mermaid's seaweed or whatever that lets them breathe underwater, that kind of stuff.
Oh, the gilly root?
Yeah,
Okay.
stuff like that.
Dude, I have so many potions of...
Well, there's also other things, if there's, a suit or if there's anything, wetsuits, etc. Just to see.
Okay. You can go ahead and roll a perception check for me if you would like to investigate the area. Tom, is there anything you would be getting into?
How long has it been since we last rested?
So it's been a full day because you departed relatively early in the morning, and it is now that the sun has set, it has grown dark, and a storm is on the horizon.
Yeah, I know. There are penalties if you don't sleep within a certain time period, right?
There are, however, most characters do not need to long rest unless they have expended some of their limited use abilities. So since you haven't expended any key points, I don't think you would need to long rest. So you could honestly get away with sleeping for only 6 hours instead of 8.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, he'd probably just do that.
And then you could be up bright and early if you wanted to. All right. As everyone's kind of getting situated in their various cabins, finding hammocks, looking out through the hatched windows on the sides of the hall, Snow is investigating slightly. You're able to find, you're looking for anything, just in case, you get caught off guard in boat capsizes.
19 on my perception.
You are able to find some relatively mundane things. Is per par for the course of Erveldum. It doesn't seem as if they have any, magical equipment. You're able to find some rope, some life preservers. The only thing that is immediately striking to you that it seems like it would be useful is there is a large metal diving suit. This is absolutely huge. It seems like it is built to be able to contain any medium-sized humanoid creature. It's made big enough so that no one would be too big for it, and a smaller person could fit inside if need be. And there are also oxygen tanks, which have to be screwed into and fastened onto the back. It can hold up to 2 air canisters.
She mentally catalogs this for later, potentially.
Other than that, would you just go back and reprieve in your room?
Should we try to find Wilson, just spend some time with him?
Sure. And you're kind of just hanging out in this large open area with some hammocks.
Practicing poker.
Yeah, practicing your poker. Wilson's still a little confused. He's more proficient at Go Fish.
So is Snow. So neither of them are actually playing poker then.
You're unsure whether Tama is watching or if he's standing in the corner asleep with his eyes open. It's very confusing. You haven't seen him blink in about 10 minutes.
At some point, she just starts throwing cards, trying to hit Tama.
You roll a will save. You roll a ranged attack with a -4 penalty.
36.
Very nice. Natural crit for a total 36. All right, and how about you, Miss Snow?
26.
Tama, what is your flat-footed AC? That means not including your dexterity.
22.
You are surprisingly adept with this. You must have practiced card throwing because you thought it was really cool. Probably in college, it's a very standard party trick. You wing this card right at him, and it strikes Tama right in the face on the cheek, but he does not seem to flinch. Just entirely stone-faced.
She keeps doing this until she's just fascinated now at this point.
You're not reacting, but you can definitely choose to. This is going to go on almost indefinitely until she runs out of cards.
I'm Kiriko right now.
52 cards in a deck.
So she keeps throwing it, and eventually, I guess, one goes towards his eye, and he just catches that one with 2 fingers really quickly.
Oh, glad you're good. You're awake. You know how to play poker?
I'm lost. Is it anything
Rummy?
Yes,
I can't even think of a card game.
Blackjack?
Didn't Draken kind of give you a crash course on poker?
I really tried to. They are all terribly inept.
Well, at least we're not bad at it.
Well, I'm not, yes, bluffing, not good at bluffing. I'm very good at telling when someone else is bluffing, though.
Surprisingly, for having a stone complexion, his poker face is terrible.
That is actually kind of hilarious.
I think it's my gemstone eyes. They kind of glow a little brighter when I'm trying to bluff.
Honestly, they're reflective. I can see his cards through his eyes.
I'd love to play poker with you sometime, Tama.
Well, we've been playing Go Fish for the past hour, so it's getting a little stale, Wilson.
Well, now we're gonna have to play pick up cards.
Having fun.
We could play Uno.
And you all sit together in this communal area, lit by candlelight as the sun has set. You're all having merriment. But as you're enjoying your card game and your jests, your jokes and jives, you notice the boat begins to rock more violently. The waves begin to crest up and lap against the side of the hull, sometimes submerging the port windows, which you can see through. And you hear, as the wet slaps against the window grow louder and louder, until you hear a very solid thud on them. And I need you to roll a perception check.
This is my worst nightmare. This is why I'll never go on a cruise, by the way. I am absolutely terrified.
18.
Okay.
20.
Okay.
20.
Though it's very loud all around with the crashing of the waves, this ear-grating, high-pitched, streaking sound rings out through the night, and you swear you see almost claw marks on one of the windows nearby.
Oh, God.
Why? What about him?
Okay, so, listen. I'm not gonna lie. I have 2 fears in my life. 3 fears. Space, oceans, and heights. So, everything.
There's literally not a plane of existence where you can't be other than on land.
Even earthquakes frighten me.
I feel like she would have the same problem with being in a really deep, dark cave that could collapse.
I got stuck in one of those once. Never again.
I don't know. I think caves are kind of dank.
And damp. And wet. And bats. I love bats, actually.
I do like bats.
I like bats.
Tama nods his head.
Thomas like, yeah, bats rock.
So, did everyone else see the claw marks?
Oh, yeah, I'm surprised. No, like, Draken begins making his way and looking at it. Yeah, it's definitely not caused by the waves, guys.
And it's probably not our whale either, because those are claw marks?
Yeah, there's 4 of them. You see in streaky line, it seems to have scratched the glass.
Huh, it sows people. The Undine. Or sirens, I'm not sure. One or the other. Actually, could I attempt, based on these claw marks, could I attempt to use a particular knowledge to determine what it could be from?
I will allow a knowledge of nature or a knowledge religion or knowledge local check. All 3 are acceptable and will get you different results.
Oof. Can I make all 3?
Nope. You have to pick one.
So you say religion, nature, or local?
Yep. That is you're going to get different amounts of information depending on what you roll.
27 on knowledge, religion.
Cool.
I'll make a local check then.
The only one I have is local, so I will make a knowledge local.
Then I'll make a nature check.
Sure.
28.
17 on the nature.
We'll go in the fun order. Snow, your knowledge of natural occurrences and animals as you've been hanging out with Wilson has expanded as he just randomly spits out animal facts. And you find it strange that there are claw marks, as there are not too many deep sea creatures that have claws. Most of them have fins or flippers. They might have spines or sharp teeth, but nothing that would make these claw marks with this type of space and dispersion. It definitely doesn't seem to be something that's immensely natural.
Then why would I make a nature check?
To be able to tell that it's not natural.
Wouldn't it be Arcana if it's unnatural and magical in existence?
It's not exactly magical.
Okay.
It's not a well-known naturally occurring creature, especially not from the reality which you are from. You can tell that no animal that you know of makes these kinds of marks. Zana, as you tend to hang around people, go to taverns and bars, you get to chat it up with people, you hear a lot of tall tales and rumors. One such seafaring rumor which you hear of is of fish people who will, in the midst of a storm and its chaos, jump on to ships and drag unexpected sailors to the depths of the ocean.
Oh, sweet.
It sows people.
They're mad that we bullied him.
Tama, you, sir, as you frequent meditative states in isolated parts of nature, you quite frequently stumble into serene environments which are actually utilized as religious establishments or locations, like mountaintops, peaks like that. People tend to hold religious ceremonies there. And as such an event, you've actually spent a lot of time with various different sects and beliefs of people. And some of the indigenous people of this land refer to a creature known as the Qualupeluk, which is some type of ominous sea spirit. It is one of the reasons that a lot of the native people of this area don't go out to deep ocean, especially during night or storms, as this spirit has known to be hostile, carnivorous, and to drag uncareful children into the waters and the depths, and they would never be seen again.
Snow, having no idea, just kind of verbalizes, I don't really like this at all. Anybody got any ideas what this is?
Oh, well, I've heard tales, but it might work out in our favor, The only thing I can think of that I've heard is a story about these creatures that live in the sea, and, they're quite vicious from what I understand. They come out during storms.
You mean
she gestures.
Like vicious creatures do?
Yeah. Well, these ones tend to come out in storms and drag sailors and unsuspecting parties, or even suspecting parties, to their deaths. To their deaths. In the depths.
All right, Zana, that's mildly helpful. Okay, so anyone have any actual idea of what it is? Because
It's a sea creature that drags sailors to its death.
yeah, we need to know weaknesses. Probably electricity, but
Why? Let it drag the captain. We don't have to, it's great. It
the
works out well.
captain has the sword with the pommel on it.
Mm-hmm.
Did you get it?
No.
So we have to worry about that going into the ocean because this is a boat that is piloted by the robots.
Okay.
I don't know what happens if we lose that pommel.
Okay. Well, obviously the robots aren't going to attack us. Personally, it seems like they have the minds of their own, so without the pommel to tell them what to do, they might just, go off doing their own little thing.
Well,
Maybe they squeak their ducks more.
Oh, that means they wouldn't be dealing with the ship.
they're having their conversation. Tama thinks about it a little bit and thinks about what Zana was saying, and then seems to remember something he had heard about it, and he says, I think what the creature you're talking about is called a Qualupaluk.
These stupid game developers and their silly names.
I thought it was called a Qualulululoop, so, it's kind of the same.
And Jonathan, since you rolled really well on a very specific check, I'm going to give you one other piece of information. Certain individuals who... There are certain people who believe that these creatures do not necessarily kill those that they take with them, and that these creatures do eat fish and survive on the wildlife and do not eat the humans they take, but rather they corrupt them. They cannot reproduce naturally, so they increase their numbers by effectively corrupting those they take captive. And you need to be very careful about not coming in contact with them.
So, after Tama says the name of the thing, he thinks again, trying to remember, because it's been a little while, I'm just trying to remember the exact details. It's a bit of a weird, religion story. So he says, oh, by the way, probably don't want to go up unless you want to maybe potentially turn into one of them.
And all of you, while you're having this conversation, please roll a perception check for me.
33.
25.
That was a wonderful drop.
I don't think you rolled
It just landed and then just settled.
It's 17.
Snow, this is probably one of your greatest fears. You're very paranoid and kind of overwhelmed by the situation, especially the information that Tama has given you recently. You and Zana are frantically talking about your course of action and are kind of huddled together along with Wilson, who's also very scared. He's like, I don't know what this is. This isn't anything naturally occurring. I'm not used to these things. I'm supposed to know what's in the ocean, and that's the comforting part of being in the ocean, is that you know what's there mostly, unless you're over really deep ocean, but I didn't think it was going to be this bad. And just panic
Wilson,
is setting in.
Put your necklace on, please.
But as you all are panicking, Tama, you hear another high-pitched whining sound, but it's not the same as the claw marks. It's not that grating, scratching sound. It's more like the sound of metal being swung open. And you notice, and you kind of hear it swinging and clanking nearby. Somewhere further down in the ship, one of the portholes to the hull has been opened, and the wind from the storm is opening and closing it repeatedly.
Do we notice that it gets just louder? Because I was gonna have Snow react and just
A crash of thunder ripples through the night.
You're right. No, she just grabs whoever's right next to her, wildly freaking out at this point. Doesn't matter who it is.
At the same time, Wilson embraces you for comfort, and you're both just lashed onto one another, panic and fear set in your eyes.
Guys, I know you guys are all panicking, and I don't want to make you more panicked.
Thanks, Tama. We really appreciate it.
But,
I'm glad you noticed, bud. You're right. You are really good at sensing people's emotions.
Yeah, that's so nice.
seems like there's one of those Windows is opened.
Who opened it?
I don't know.
Well, it wasn't me.
It wasn't me.
No, I didn't do it either. Don't get excited.
Throw the ducks out.
What?
It'll save our lives.
No.
Just pour them out into the ocean.
How about Zana walks over to the window? How about we just shut the window? And Zana goes to shut the window.
You go to shut the window.
I'm on guard.
As you approach the window, there is almost like a slimy thud at the brim of it. And as you're staring over, you see this gilled hand with long claws attached to an arm as a creature begins pulling itself in through the porthole. And that is where we're going to end this week's episode of The Odd Campaign. All right. Thank you, Foundlings, for listening to this week's episode of The Odd Campaign. I've been Quentin, your GM here, and I wanted to give a special thank you to Snow, my lovely player and also audio producer who is smiling at me for finally doing an outro immediately upon finishing a recording. If you like this episode, please make sure to let us know on our social media. You can find us on Twitter or Instagram at RollFound, or you could tell us directly and interact with us at your leisure by joining our Discord. And make sure to tell us all of your favorite moments and conspiracy theories about the podcast. If you wanted to help support the podcast in other ways, share it with a friend. That way, word of mouth gets around and more people know about us. If you wanted to support us monetarily so we could continue making awesome content for you guys, you can go onto our Patreon at bit.ly/support MRPF. We've got, I believe, only one tier at the moment, but it does go a long way because we have to pay for all the audio equipment, website hosting fees, and it allows us to produce more content for you guys. A special shout out and thank you for all of the music and ambiance in today's episode. Thank you to Ivan Dutch, Will Savino with Music D20, Michael Gelfi, and Monument Studios for providing today's music and ambiance for this session. So thank you guys, and tune in next week when we figure out what's going on with Kualapaluk. If someone knows how to pronounce that, please feel free to correct me. All right, bye guys.
Bye.
Bye.